Here we are again. For those people that are coming on later, or will watch this later, it's kind of boring, so I highly suggest you join us live. Much more fun. Got a lot of stuff on the bench here. And my phone is over here so I can monitor you guys. Let me bring up YouTube. Go. And we're on. Yeah, we're on. Neckman 99-100. What's going on? I got all kinds of goodies on the bench right now. You can see I'm kind of clogged, so let's clean this up a little bit. I did get something from e-replacement parts. So let's see what we got here. Just gonna open this while we're actually tab. And Bradley M and Ken, rain. Yeah, we had snow today. Just flurries mainly. Ken, what'd you have down there? Flurries? Ooh, they sent me a lot of goodies. E-replacement parts to the rescue. I get too many of these. What do I have here? Chain catchers. That looks like a Husky 350 chain catcher, which I always seem to be out of, so I'm happy to get those. Glenn, 6 inches of snow here. Oh. Glenn, where are you at? These are 394 partition walls, and I always seem to be running out of these too. So, nice to pick up a few extras every now and again. So I actually ordered from a number of places. I ordered from HL Supply, already got that. I ordered for e-replacement parts. That's here. I'm waiting on my order from SLE Equipment. I ordered from them. So, beauty about the internet is you can go and compare prices, and if you save a couple of bucks with somebody else, then that's good, you know. 372 chain catchers. Ah, these are always... Okay, so 350, that goes over here. 372 chain catchers go in the 372 pile. 394 stuff goes in the 394 pile. I have a throttle lock for the 394, which is great, but I probably forgot to buy the spring. I don't even know if These things are always breaking, the blue things. The throttle, idle screws. They're always breaking, so missing, broken, whatever. Those go in the 394 pile. 394 pile. These little throttle attachments, throttle cable attachments, they go on carburetors, and they don't come with the carburetor. You need to get these separate. 372 chain catcher, another throttle piece, another 350 chain catcher, and if you happen to be using an aftermarket 394 chain brake, you needed a real spring. So there's a spring. If you're using the OEM, obviously it's got an OEM spring, but the in some of the aftermarket chain catcher, not the aftermarket chain brakes, the 394 aftermarket chain brakes, they put 372 springs in instead of 394 springs. You need something a little more robust for the 394. All right. Adirondacks, if we decide to rebuild now versus parting out, Manitoba, Canada. Manitoba, wow, okay. And Dude West says, hey man, hey Dude West. I think I'll put the crankcase together, might as well, right? Maybe I'll sell the crankcase. I'll put it together and then sell it. Why not? Could do that. It ain't going to be cheap. Actually, this one's pretty nice. What I do need to do, though... Actually, I got something else to show you guys here. Sean Carr is going to be impressed. Or, no, I'm not going to impress him, but he'll be proud of me. Just here in a second. Okay. Don't need this. Put it over there on the bench somewhere. I do have this. I think I got this off eBay. 16 people watching. Just gonna open some stuff here. What did I do today? Got a couple pieces of oak. Sean, I went out and did it. Took your advice. I got a super scraper. Of course. All you guys that are purchasing toolkits did, of course, help me purchase this, so appreciate that. But Sean's been on to me for a bit about not having one of these, so I'll get one. Let's see here. Don't want to hurt myself. Don't know exactly how sharp this is. Pretty sharp. That is actually quite sharp. So what this is supposed to be for is for getting pieces of, what is this, gasket material off, you know? Guess it works. But my concern was this is carbide, and am I going to bugger the edges? And he says no. I don't know. That looks like it wants to dig into me. But it definitely takes off the gasket. There's little pieces of gasket material on here that I would definitely need my Scotch-Brite wheel to get off. And he says it's probably not a good idea to use the Scotch-Brite wheel. It'd be much better to have a flat surface to put this on, to get some sandpaper and, you know, sand this so it's nice and clean, but I don't have something that's super flat like that, at least not reliably flat. Okay. Well, it definitely works for getting gasket material off. But it really looks like you could cut yourself on this. This looks sharp. So I'm going to keep that just like that. Put that in here. What should I build with a straight gas 340? Looking for suggestions. Kiwi Lad, how's it going? I use tungsten carbide blade on mine. Use copper nickel scrapers. You have to be careful though. Yeah, it looks handy. Ken, I mean, if you want the most straightforward thing, just get a 346 XP top end and throw it on there. That's, you know, the simplest thing to do. There's all kinds of different modifications you can do to the 340, but 346 top end would be the hot way to do it. You know, and you can just call Spike 60 up there at Ashokan Turf and Timber, and he'll ship you one. I think they're $110 shipped, but don't quote me on that. Okay, so let's make some room here. So I got these sort of cleaned up. They're pretty clean, not super, but they're going to be clean enough for what we're doing. The old bearings and seals are still in here, so let's take those out. Let's work on taking those out. Bring the phone over. It's probably quite a ride. My guess would be at least 3 hours, if not more. Up to see Bob. What would be the cost using China or OEM to just buy and build out the rest of the 394? You can't use China. That's the thing. Yeah, there is not good aftermarket support for the 394s. So, you can spend $500-600 on the rest of the plastics and everything. The tank alone, just for the gas tank, is like $150. So you do have to be careful about the money that you spend on these things. You can spend a lot of money, but then again, these are these grand? Maybe, in fully rebuilt, nice shape. 750, $800 is probably not outside the realm of possibility for these. If it's really nice, 750, 800, ported, all that other stuff. You can start really getting some, commanding some high dollars of what these things are worth. So, is it a bad thing to spend some money on them? No, it's not. Brand new set of crankcases, a couple $100. They start getting really quite pricey. Hey, David. So let's see if we can get these seals out, because I really don't want to be dealing. Come on. Ta-da! Good. There's one. The tank on here, I think, is good, and I think I'm going to put it with the other saw that I'm building, the other 394 that I'm building. What I might do is I might just put this crankcase together for somebody as a start of a project. And if somebody on here wants to buy this when it's done, let me know. This is a nice looking case. The only thing on here that is even a little bit buggered is this hole here is wallowed out a little bit. But if I make an insert, I think it'd be good. Nice. Okay. Ta-da. Yeah, I know, one of the seal pullers. Yeah. Okay, so there's a number of ways we can pull the bearings out. I might just do it cold here, so let's get some rod. So there's some 1/2-inch threaded rod. Yeah, when these things run right, they will be your favorite saw. Really, I mean, it's really a revelation to get these really good. They really can run super smooth. So I delivered the 034 today. Speaking of stuff I did today. Oh, shoot. It doesn't want to go together. This darn oil thing here. Ah. Doesn't seal up here, so I don't worry about jamming the screwdriver in there. I do worry about it up here. There we go. Okay. Okay, good. So yeah, the 034 went to its new home today. Ran good, tuned right up, no problem. So happy about that. Yeah, I guess I get that darn oil thing stuck in there. Let's see here. That size. Oh, that'll be perfect. 3/4 inch. Yeah, you know, I need another nut there. Or some way to hold it. Have an idea. There's a million ways you can do this, but I have an idea. Think, will this fit on here? Yeah, that'll fit. Okay, so I just have to wind this one down further. So all I'm trying to do is pull the bearing into the case effectively. Again, you can heat this up with the torch and just hit it out, but I'm going to try to avoid using the torch. There, you just put that there. So here you can see there's your bearing. There's one. This is just a piece of regular old 1/2-inch threaded rod. Absolutely positively nothing exciting about it. And a bunch of washers of various kinds and assortments, you know. There's one bearing. Can anyone have an 026 choke flap that actually sealed and allowed good sucking? Choke flap. I really, no. That won't pop unless I put my thumb over the carburetor. That's interesting. Hey, Tim. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the design, Ken, so I can't really comment. Sounds like a sucky design. Oh, sorry. I couldn't help myself. So again, we're pulling the bearing into the crankcase. There you go. 2 old bearings. Junk. Hey, Brandon. We're working on a 394 tonight. There's a surprise, huh? Okay, so we got the seals out, we got the bearings out. Now we can clean this up a little bit. Actually, I will need that, so I won't put that away. So now we go in here and clean this out. Nice thing about this is there's actually some little chamfer around here, so it kind of guides the bearing in just to get it started, which is nice. Makes it a lot easier to install this, actually. Yuck, let's get a wire wheel in there. Oh, that one set up, nice. So I just go in here and shine this up with the wire wheel. Oh yeah, that looks much better. I'm going to use the Natchies just because that's what I have. OEM is SKF. I mean, I don't really see much point in using... on these, I don't see much point in using OEM bearings. And I actually don't see much point in using the OEM seals. The highway seals are pretty good, so... So I'm going to get this as clean as possible before I do anything. Yeah, I don't have a problem trusting the Japanese bearings. Of course, bearings are faked all the time, so you know, it's always interesting. Interesting topic. I'm going to take my Scotch-Brite and go over the top. This I'm just going to hit with some brake cleaner, I think. And yeah, I like this part of the build too. This is, you know, this is nice. It's fairly predictable. I love using my tools. I'll tell you what. They are fun. Just makes everything so easy. I know, you guys love these Knipex dikes. So do I. Not cheap, though. Not cheap. Right, Kiwi, but you're talking like $12 a piece for the SKF, so are they really worth double what you pay sometimes for the Natchies? I don't know. Not really convinced. Here's hoping to have bearings. Okay, I do. Vampires. Kiwi, you build your own bearings? Really? How do you do that? Alright, what did I need to do? I need... my Scotch book. That's right. Get a new pad. Just cleaning up the top here. That should be fine. Now we get in the brake cleaner, go back over the whole thing. Yeah, you pop out the inner race, replace the ball ceramic. Yeah, but then yeah, you have to create a bearing keeper though. That's the tricky part. So I'm not so sure about that. Now, everything depending here, I might go back and machine this on the Bridgeport or something like that. I don't know. Quite a nice crankcase, though. Not taking the case. Well, I don't know. I might. Like I said, you know, if somebody wants me to build them something, let me know, and I can build the suit, you know? This is a head gasket required cleanup right now. The steel nylon ones pop straight out and click back in. That's pretty cool. Okay. Alright, so let's put these here. And now we got to pull some new bearings in. Pop the seals out. Don't need those. These are already come packed with grease. Where is... There we go. Man, I'm running out of Q-tips. Actually, you know what I need to do before I decide to do this? I need to check and see if this actually holds a thread, which it does. Because often this bolt hole is stripped. How's this one? Yeah, that one's okay too. Rarely I find the other stripped. That's rare, but certainly this one can be stripped out because somebody will put the wrong bolt in there. Not putting on any pressure on the inner race. And I'm just getting it started. That's all I'm doing. Wonder why they feel dodgy. This one ain't going to feel notchy. Don't worry. I ain't hammering it in. I just wanted to get it started. Actually, it looks like it's a little off. Hang on. There we go. That's it. I just need it started. And then we can pull it in like this. Oh, no, I'm not driving it home with a hammer. On a car, you might get away with that. But not here. I forgot my anti-seize. Whoops. Great. If you notice it's off just a little bit, again, just reposition it. Yep. I mean, there's no question, by far the safest way to do this for the bearings is to heat this up and drop the bearing in. But you know how many times I get this stuck? Like nearly every time. So you're driving in cold anyway. What's the point? I don't know. There's really, and I've had this discussion with plenty of people, there's really no substitute for putting this in. If you lose your heat differential, then you're just banging it in anyway, so why not put it in cold to start with? And I can tell you this, you can do cold in and out a lot before it wallows out the bearing cup here. Good. You need a copper hammer. You want to make me one? Truth be told, I actually have lumps of copper that would probably work just fine. They're out at my folks' place. I just hate to use them. I had intended them for something else years ago and never got around to it. Actually, I'll tell you what project I am looking forward to. This right here, I'm really looking forward to finding an insert that'll fit in there. Technically, pulling on the inner race can Brunel the races. Hammer. Yes, half-inch rod. The hammer is just to align it. That's all. You just got to get it more or less aligned. This will straighten right out as it pulls right in. And this is perfect. Okay, let's do the other one. You guys can rag on me all you want. I actually forgot to do this on the other one, so hopefully this will go a little bit smoother. This is just a little bit of anti-seize, that's all this is. Just you only need the tiniest bit too. Right, and you throw them in the freezer, and guess what happens? They pull moisture in. And I know you're supposed to heat the cases up, but it still worries me if you have a nylon inner race. And I know these things get hot, but it still worries me if you have a nylon inner race. So there's bunches of reasons why I prefer to do this cold. Hopefully that'll do it. Heat melts stuff, especially nylon. Heat and nylon do not go well together. Yet I know that nylon is used for the ball holders in there, but I don't know. Why you don't heat a crankcase? We're just talking about that. And it's not that I don't, it's just, it's not that I haven't even, it's just, a lot of times when I do it, when I heat the crankcase, the bearing gets stuck halfway. And then you're doing this anyway. There we go. That's it. Done. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of things that would help pull these in. But something to align it better would be good. Okay, so yeah, so the reason I don't heat the crankcases is because often when I heat the crankcases and try to get the bearings in, they get stuck halfway anyway. So if that's going to happen, you somehow lose your heat. When you lose your heat differential, which happens awful quick, especially on the bigger saws, you know, you got a lot of magnesium here, and it just sucks up the heat like crazy. So if you lose your heat differential, then the bearing gets stuck halfway, and then you're doing it this way anyway. Yeah, Kiwi Lad, I'm thinking about that. Just thinking about, you know, what type of bearing cup or something would you need? Oh, they have presses and jigs, I'm sure. Right, bake the cases in an oven. So it takes me 10, 20 minutes to put the case in an oven. I'm already done. No nachi. Perfect. Alright, so the crank here. Just want to run a little bit of Scotch-Brite on this, make sure this is oiled. Everybody, I catch all kinds of hell for oiling this with WD-40. It's convenient. It's not really intended to lubricate it other than just to get it over the initial start, you know. And once this penetrates with 2-cycle, I don't worry about it. And you can cycle it with some brake cleaner too. Pull all the junk out. Which we definitely don't want on there. WD-40. So I usually pull this in on the clutch side first while I'm reassembling this. It's just a procedural thing. I have to go find my tools. I've got all the cast-offs and whatnot here, so. Okay, let me go find a sleeve. And whatever else I need here. There's a nut in the washer. Find a sleeve. Actually, I have one up here. They really don't wear out. I mean, it's really impressive. There's basically no wear that ends up on these things. Thanks, Kiwi. You take care, okay? Yes, it would have to have reasonably stuck cups. You're right. Chocolate chips at the same time efficiency. Swedish fish. Swedish fish. Okay. First is the rod. Sleeve goes on. Handle. nut and washer, and turn it down. You can notice where I'm grabbing it on the, I'm not grabbing it out here. I don't need to. That's it. You're done. Just reverse it. Reverse it. Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. Carriage bolts. Coming out of Frankenstein's ears, right? Actually, technically, coming out of the monster's ears. Everybody attributes the name Frankenstein to the monster, but as it turns out, Frankenstein is the doctor. And it's Dr. Frankenstein. The monster did not have a name. Anyway, out of his neck. Yeah, whatever that was. The monster did not have a name. But that's just interesting trivia. Okay. I don't know. Do I have another? Is this M8? Yeah, this will work. So I can now, once we put that stuff away, large saw, large sleeve. Even if it's a small rod, still a large sleeve because it's a large saw. Simple. It was her. Yeah. Well, if you're in the was it the monsters? I'm pretty sure in the book, in Mary Shelley's book, the monster did not have a name. And the doctor is Frankenstein. But that's the name of the doctor. Alright, I need... gasket. Okay, so this is degreased. I could put a little bit of blue Loctite in there, so let me do that. Usually I do the goop here on this side first, but I won't worry about that tonight. Not in that much of a hurry. Neither Shelley nor Victor Frankenstein give their creature a name. Which was created the problem what to call the thing. It's the monster, yeah. Right, and in the movie, he tries to make it out like he is Frankenstein, but of course he eventually recants and says it is Frankenstein. It could work. Let's get some blue Loctite here. What knockers? Thank you, Herr Doctor. Sorry. Gonna go off into movie quotes. Okay, now we have those blue Loctited. Madeline Kahn, yeah. I ought to be thy Adam. Actually, if you can name 7 brides for 7 brothers, you think you guys can name all the brothers? Number 1 was Adam. I'm Adam. That was a really bad movie. It wasn't until I was older when I finally realized exactly how bad that was. It's a musical. You guys can look it up. Okay. Don't lose your positioning pins. Here's the positioning pins. Now, do you really need sealer? Not necessarily, but I do use it. Whatever. I like to put this on the side of the positioning pins. Make sure all the bolt holes are good. Your the bar bolts are actually seated and they're fine, so that's good. As long as they're basically most of the way seated, you're probably going to be fine. Okay. Now you can use your M10 rod here, the flywheel side rod. Thread that on. Loosey-goosey. Large sleeve, not the small one. You'll splay out the small one, so don't do that. If you're concerned about the sloppiness of this thing on there, you can just put 10 turns of electrical tape here. But I'm not worried about it. Put your pins back in. I did. I put the positioning pins in. They're in. Did I forget anything else? Please tell me I didn't forget anything else. It would be bad. Am I good? Gotta make sure the oil cap isn't in the way, that the oil cap retainer there isn't going down there. It's not. Does the gasket protrude on the deck surface? Yes, it does. Adam, Benjamin, Caleb, Daniel, Ephraim, Frank, and Gideon. It's actually frankincense, by the way. It's actually frankincense. Did you look it up? Kind of like cheating. Bet you Googled it. Here we go. That's it. Done. And your crankcase is together. No sense. Watching chainsaw building on a Friday night. It is Friday night. There you go. Oh, I forgot about this. I probably should have put that in before. Doesn't matter. We'll put it in now. Okay, let's get these screws going. I forget if it's this one or that one. I don't know. Let me put it another way. If you guys have something better to do on a Friday night, please. You're not going to be insulting me. Clearly, I don't have anything better to do on a Friday night. You're going to... You are what you eat, David. Yeah. Stop munching on bearings. Where the devil did my... Oh. Let's put all this stuff away. Maybe I'll find my 4mm Allen here. It's got to be under here somewhere. Not under there. Where did that go? I don't know. Let's put all this stuff away. Here. There. Where's my 4mm? Probably fell in the garbage or some dumb thing. Oh, it's here. Again, I'm not trying to send this home with the impact. Shouldn't have put blue Loctite in that hole. Crap. Man, that's what I forgot. So Buddy Epson was supposed to be the Tin Man, but had an allergic reaction to silver paint. Thus Ray Bolger. Okay. You married your life. Yeah, I'm not out, you're right. I'm not out chasing women tonight. There's a long gone. Yep. Yeah, I chase saw parts too. All right. But I do need to put a screw in here, at least temporarily, while I'm waiting for putting the dog on. So I need something in there. And it's got to be up here, I think. It's a 60mm screw. These are 70s. I know I have them. Always looking for these darn things. I know I got them. Down here. Too many places they could be. And here is not the right spot for them either. Ah, crap. I know I got the screw, but that's not it. It needs to be a 60mm screw. That's not going to cut it. And the 70mm ones don't work either. It's very specific. I know I have them. I just got to find them. I bought a pile of them. That's why I know I have them. Maybe. That's not it. I know I have more than looking in here, though. The question is where. The dumb thing is I'm always looking for these, like every friggin' time. I always find them in some, like, obscure spot, but... Because I tucked them somewhere special, you know? Do you hate it when you do that? Tuck something somewhere special? Okay. Yep, that's not it. Probably keep this out, put it handy. Here, happenstance. No. No. Ah, come on. Am I positive it's not in here? Fine. Left it in here. No. 70 millimeter. No. 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 Yes. See? You know I had a bunch. Dog screw. Seals in a 136 this weekend. Any tips? Yeah, toss the 136. I don't know. Give it a heave. I actually have a I have a Johnson 455 part saw. Put it up on Craigslist today. If any, not Craigslist. Put it up on Arborist site today if anybody wants it. $50 plus shipping. Johnson 455. I don't think I've ever seen one. It's not a Husky 455. It's a Johnson 455, and it's on Arborist site if anybody wants to see what's up. So yes, I put washers on here to simulate the bolt, the dog thickness for now. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good enough. Here's your crankcase. Arborist site link. I don't have the link offhand, but it's in the trading post under parts on Arborist site. Yeah, it looks like a Mini 340. Yeah, it's a 136, probably open port. Probably really nothing special of a saw. They just don't bring a lot of money, Ken. So do I want to put the oiler on here? Gavin, are you talking about the bolt in front? The bolt in front is muffler bracket bolt. This is a dog bolt, but it's also a case bolt. This is a fairly unique screw on this because it goes underneath the spring, the AB spring that's here. So this becomes non-accessible once the spring is on. And then this bolt you have to take back off to put the dog on later. You want to put the dog on after you actually have the cylinder head on, because otherwise you can't fit the muffler easy. Silly stuff on this, fitment issues that are just kind of annoying. $600 and a 590 Timberwolf. That's pretty good, I guess. Yeah, the 525 is similar to the 455, I think, Tim. Let's see how we're doing here. So now all the bolts are cinched up, nice and smooth. Beauty. Very, very nice. All this stuff away. One thing I guess we could do without too much trouble, you could probably get a squish. You guys want to get a squish number? Probably do that. The cylinder head's not cleaned up. It's all gunky in there. I really need the ultrasonic to proceed on this one. Yeah, maybe I'll just wait for that. I'm going down to my folks tomorrow. Maybe I can pick up the ultrasonic tomorrow. Where's the knife? Where's my knife? Here it is. So Ken, you asked if this protrudes above the case, yeah, or above the deck. Yes, it does. So you just take the razor blade. Again, Brad Snelling's idea, not mine. Take a blade and just go across, nice and easy. Want to do crankcase seals? We can do case seals. Let's do case seals. Let me get some Q-tips to clean in there. Hang on a second. Just a little brake cleaner again, just to make sure this is nice and clean. Doesn't quite go all the way down. Find my 394 one. Where the devil did I put it? Made one for the 394. A seal seater. We used it the other day, didn't we? Ah, wait a minute. No, it's not here. But I do, yes, I do have my Coke can trick piece, so that's good. I leave it here. I had my seal seater. Maybe I used it on the 262 and left it here? Did I use it on the 262? What did I do with it? Ah! My nylon seater. Just built it. I just built that darn thing. Not here. Could certainly do it without, but the whole idea was to do it with, you know? Do it without. Oh well. Phooey. Okay, I need some seals. Now I gotta find seals. Those are pretty easy to find. I got lots of those in here somewhere. There we go. Got them. Seals. These highway crank seals are pretty good. Tim, I think David has a stuck carb needle, which I've seen on 394s before. It did run good, it ran strong, but sometimes if that needle gets stuck, it doesn't deliver fuel. So I think he's having a fuel delivery problem. Ta-da! Seal installed. Yeah, and David, you have the good carburetor. I think that's a WJ39. that is a very, very desirable carburetor. I'll bet if you threw that carburetor on eBay, you'd get $100 for it in any condition. So I am using the Coke can trick on this guy as well. But this one we got to measure. Well, David, I do have a new one coming. The new one is a WJ711. Almost. Got to get it up and over this lip on the crank. Then you have to measure it. Actually, Tim, I'm wondering if somehow I don't know how this happened, but I think that on the carburetor it's one of those that the diaphragm actually clicks into the needle, and I'm wondering if it ended up on top and it's just dumping fuel randomly instead of actually metering it, you know? That's good there. 4.28, so I'm 1/10 of a millimeter away right here. Good, West. You take care, okay? .35, 4.56, 4.47, 4.41, 4.36. So this is the slightly low side. .57, 4.51, 4.46. That's fine. Okay. there's your seals. So anybody want it as is? Anybody want it? Part the rest of it out. Nobody wants it? Nobody wants this super good start? Why the seat depth on the seal? Beer Ghost, that's a, Peter Call, how much? I don't know. What's it worth? Actually, this is a pretty nice crankcase. What I'd like to do before I sell it is put a little insert in here. That way the M5 is good. But before we get to the dollar, the reason why the depth, the crank itself has a lip, and it goes from the lip to full diameter on like a 45-degree angle. Right as soon as that rubber gets to full diameter on the seal as it's being seated, that's when you want to stop. And it's right at about 4.5 millimeters down. If you drive it another millimeter down beyond that, the rubber is going to be rubbing on the bearing itself, and you don't want to do that. So you have to be very specific about how far down you drive that seal. Yeah, David, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, but now I got 3 people wondering. How much? Well, it depends. Do you want the crankcase with the head installed? I mean, I can put the head on. Because the head looks pretty good. The piston looks pretty good once I get it all up. The head alone, just the head and the piston, are probably worth, if I'm parting it out, it's probably worth $150, assuming they're cleaned up and good. Just for that. I'd say the short block. The thing is, you got to put the muffler on there too. You can't. Well, I guess you don't. No dog, no muffler. The head, you really do need to have the carburetor base down with that intake block on there. So let's do the head, piston installed with a gasket, nothing special, so no machining, nothing, with a gasket, carburetor base would be I'd call it $300 shipped. So you have new bearings, new seals. I'll install the head, piston, $300 shipped. You get a short block that's pretty much ready to go. The intake block is fine. There's no cracks in it. The carburetor base seems like it's okay. It's not super pretty, but it seems like it's all right. Yeah, Brandon, this is a 394. So you're looking at. I mean, you can always do a conversion to a 395, but I'd say if you want this. I'd say $150 shipped for this as it sits. If you want me to install the head for you, then call it another $150. So you're talking about a fairly working short block, you know. But what I want to do down here is figure out an insert. This here is really wallowed out, and it would be really nice to have a nice metal insert right here. I think this is 5/16 rod. Yeah, the flywheel's hard to find. This one has a broken fin. Did this one have a coil? It had a coil with it. So if you want the flywheel and coil, as it sits, flywheel coil, call it $200 shipped. The coil, I don't know if it's good or not. The flywheel has a broken fin. But for sure, if you have a saw that needs a short block, essentially, that would be it. And you don't want to, because the rest of the build is straightforward once you get everything here done, Otherwise, I'll just, keep building this and sell it to David again. That's not a problem. Right, as is for 150, shipped to lower 48. Why not? You're not hardly going to find the crankcases for that. I mean, that's the thing about that. I think this is 5/16. Dave needs a pair. I agree. Makes sense to me. I have like 4 of them, so it's not like I really need it. Do this for you guys anyway. I already have a hole drilled in this piece of I think this is 5/16 threaded rod. I've already got a hole drilled in this. And now I just want to put an M5 thread in here. If I can, it would be nice to have my vise, but instead, essentially make a threaded insert for a really wallowed out case. Yeah, 94cc. It's a big saw. Brandon, this is really only good for if you already have a 394 that's kind of blown up, or you're having issues with it. If you want to refresh it, this is a really great start. But if you're looking to do a full-on build and you don't have any of the other parts, then this is not so great of a start. So this really works well. This type of thing works well if you just don't want to put a crankcase together yourself, you know, and you really need to have a crankcase put together. You need new bearings in your saw or something. Yeah, everybody wants a pile of gold sometimes for saws, for part saws. It's crazy. See, Larry will probably come on and he'd probably buy this in a heartbeat because he can't help himself. So keep in mind I'm trying something here. I did this on the 385. My tree guy the other day said the 385 is running pretty good, so it's got a few tanks on it. He says it's good. This is your pot at the end of the rainbow. Yeah. Well, one of the things with these 394s is they really don't have great aftermarket support. They just don't. So if you're looking for a lot of aftermarket parts, they just don't exist. So you really need to find a good donor saw. And those do exist, just depends on where you're at, you know. I'd still be willing to put another $500 into the project. It's a project. So I'm literally making a threaded insert. goes, off into another dimension. Of course, I am counting on the fact that I can actually thread this. Right, it's magnesium, not gold, damn it. Ken, what's a good drill size for 5/16 for a tap? I can look it up, but just easier to ask Ken. Heck's that? I know. Quarter inch will work? Okay, good. Is this Gen X Friday Entertainment? Yeah, I guess. This is what all the kids are doing now, Steve. It is at least interesting that there are now 14 people here on a Friday night. You gonna be okay, Brandon? just so everybody on the channel knows, Stefan, that just showed up, is my father-in-law. He keeps tabs on me every now and again. Considering the actual function of this, this is an extensive rebuild. Sorry, I'm texting my family here to let them know I'm going to be using the lathe a little bit tomorrow to work on some sleeves. Crafty guy, yeah. Yeah, I'm 38. Baby boomer Friday night anytime watching. Well, remember, I am I am not a Generation Xer, and I'm also not a millennial. So there is a smush generation that I am part of, and actually I feel very fortunate to be part of. It's this funny generation that's smushed in the middle, and we're actually called Zennials. It's those people that were born basically when the original Star Wars came out, 1977 to 1983, essentially, 83, 84. So the Zennials have the benefit of being children with both analog and digital. So we know both worlds. We've experienced both. We've grown up with both. And I personally find that fascinating. Tornado watch for Grove, Oklahoma. Well, that's why Steve's watching me. You can either sit and watch the news of terribleness, or you can come and hang out with me. Which is fine. I understand. Appreciate it. So all I'm doing here is adding... Still got peach fuzz. What are you talking about? Just want to show you guys what I did here. So this is literally a piece of threaded rod. This is actually 5/16 threaded rod with a hole drilled down the middle, tapped to M5. And I put some JB weld on here to hold this in. This is JB quick weld here. And just a little bit more. Put it right on the thread as it's going in. There we go. That's going to sit just below flush. And what I did also, I did put some notches in there so you could drive it with a flat blade. You could also get it out with a flat blade. So now we have a new M5 insert there, and it will be unlikely that that will strip out, at least doing what it's going to be doing. Sign up for Dollar Shave Club. Yikes. So, what else should I do to this tonight? Probably not. It's 10. Shoot, it's 10:30. Nobody told me it was 10:30. All right. It's 10:30. I should go to bed. $7:30. Guys. Whoa, poof. Did that make shavings? Okay. Anyway, questions, comments, anything, guys? Anybody wants any information, they can always email me. So, Steve, that's about 120 miles. Well, I suppose you can't put enough distance between you and hurricane, or you and tornadoes, but yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit the hay, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is always a nice part to do on these things. Of course, the other nice part is getting them to pop, but this is always a nice part to do. And I appreciate you guys watching and hanging out. This is cool. So I'm going to get some lathe work done tomorrow, hopefully, and which just makes some sleeves. I still haven't gotten the M14 rods. I have not heard from the machinist this week. I got to assume that he's really busy. So I just put in for a quote for more rods, blanks. They wanted to charge me $5 per cut for just cutting them to length at 7 inches. I thought that was crazy. $5, 50 cents a cut's okay. $5 a cut doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm going to probably have to do the cutting again myself, which is just going to frustrate me. But anyway, we're going to let things lie there and say thanks, guys, and we will talk to you some other time. Hopefully tomorrow night we'll have a project to do. Okay. Take care, guys. Thanks so much. Night, Steve. Tornado on the ground. Stay safe. Duck, Brandon. Oh, dear. Be careful.